Happy Sunday. Happy Christmas Eve, actually. This is Bobby Brian JJ Radio, not Bobby and JJ Radio. We actually got to skip Bobby, which is awesome. And we have a great guest today. It's Ms. Debbie Luna. She's one of the founders of Connect Realty, which has been pretty much storming the residential real estate market for the last 3.5 to 4 years. First of all, I want to say thank you for hanging out with us today, Ms. Debbie.
Thank you for having me.
So, real estate. Why did you get into this crazy business? What are you doing in it? Talk about Connect Realty and all the things you guys are doing right now in the San Antonio area.
Well, we've been here in San Antonio for about 3 years. We're here to help make dreams come true.
Sure.
Help people get into homes and, start families.
So when you say dreams come true, everyone talks about the American dream of home ownership. How have you seen that impact, not only maybe yourself, family members, clients? Why do you feel that it's still the American dream to get that home?
Because we have a lot of people out there that are still renting, that don't have a home and actually don't even think that they can afford it,
right,
or would qualify for it, or maybe something in the past has happened and
sure,
it's affected their credit. So
right,
they don't think they can do it again.
For sure. And you're such a residential juggernaut in the San Antonio area. So how do you, we're seeing rental rates kind of creep up, right? And so it's getting more and more expensive to rent, isn't it?
It is. It's actually cheaper to own a home in some cases
right,
than it is to rent.
Yeah, like let's say you get to take any given neighborhood on any side of town. I'm sure that we've seen that you'll see someone renting a house and then they can just go next door or 2 houses down, buy the same floor plan almost. And with the mortgage rates, how they are,
correct,
it's actually cheaper to live that way.
It is. It's absolutely true.
And then I don't really know, and I know you really take care of your clients on the residential side, but there's so many other like tax benefits that they're not taking advantage of, because just renting alone is not really the best way to just go about it when you're trying to build,
right.
It's like forced savings for the most part, because you're going to rent or pay someone anyways, might as well own it.
Correct. Even if it's a starter home, you're building equity.
For sure.
So later when you're ready to move into the bigger home, you can go ahead and sell that, and guess what? We have a pretty decent down payment.
Right. We'll talk about that a little bit, because I know that you don't discriminate. I mean, obviously we can't because the housing urban
yeah, it's
development.
kind of illegal.
So HUD, none of us discriminate. But
yeah, none of us.
But you, Debbie, you really do specialize in, all buyers. But talk about the first-time home buyers that you work with. Where can someone find a good starter home here in the San Antonio metro area, you feel?
Just depends on what area you want to move into and what your bottom line is or what you qualify for.
Right.
So there's different ranges in different areas.
Sure.
We do have a lot of clients in the city that are actually moving outside of the city, going out to the country. Taxes are lower.
Is that
more
why?
Buying power.
Yeah. So they're going outside of the outer loop.
That's what I'm seeing a lot of.
Where do you see a lot of the movement in particular?
It's on different areas.
Because it's just spreading out north and
right.
south.
Taxes are lower.
And how does
no HOAs.
For sure.
You can have a cow. You can have a horse.
I like that you brought that up. That works for JJ.
For sure.
So when it comes down to it, you talked about buying power. One of the big things, right, is that when those taxes are cheaper, let's say that their max payment is $1,500 a month, right? Well, if the taxes are eating up, $500 of that, maybe in the city, or if they go out into a rural area, right, where those taxes are maybe only $300 a month, that definitely increases that, by about $25,000, $50,000 of buying power. And that's huge. And I love that you said that, because a lot of agents don't have that kind of finance knowledge, right, where they may not be able to kind of crunch those numbers for their clients and kind of put their best foot forward for them to help them kind of understand that. And that's awesome.
So if they're like first-time home buyers that don't necessarily have a child yet, right? And so if you don't have a child yet, then they're not even in preschool for another 5 or 6 years, and you probably are going to end up being in the house for 6 or 7 years.
Right.
That really expensive school district, whether it be Alamo Heights ISD or Northeast ISD or Northside ISDs, might not be the most important thing when it's
right.
It might be just getting an investment, a really good investment that you can hold,
right?
Or call Debbie when you're ready to sell it, and then pull out that equity and then put it on the next domino. And talk about that, Debbie. So you've been in the business now long enough. So what happens when someone has been in a house for a while? How liberating is having that equity and being able to put it, what have you seen with your clients right now, where they're with the market? Because a lot of people say, well, I'm selling high, but I'm buying high. But is it what's good for the goose is good for the gander? As long as you're going up in price, you're going to be okay?
Not necessarily. You have some that are upgrading,
right?
So obviously we've added more family,
right?
Want a larger house, maybe in an area where we're going to get larger house,
sure.
less taxes. but still have that, keep the payment the same, or maybe add a couple $100 onto that.
Yeah.
I really haven't seen anyone jump up significantly.
Right.
So.
And it's really, it's all about the real estate agent, right? Because a lot of realtors, they'll just say, can you max out at? Let's go that way.
Correct.
But after talking to Brian here, you're more conscious of like we literally had a conversation. What's your comfort payment for the most part?
Correct.
And then you do the numbers backwards.
Right. That's where we're going to keep them.
Gotcha.
So.
And that's huge.
It is.
That's huge for, I mean, that especially that first time home buyer, really any buyer. I mean, because you don't want to be house poor. I mean,
ramen noodles on your counter.
Hey man, I can jazz up some ramen noodles, but I don't want to eat them every day.
For
right?
Sure. Yeah. But you're more conscious of what the client and the family's needs are, as far as a monthly payment.
Correct. And then also evaluating the home. So once we're in there, and making sure while they're out there looking at the house and the rooms and seeing what they can do with it.
Crunching numbers.
Checking numbers and also looking at the home. What do we have here? What needs repaired? Is it a bone? Is it, is it something structure and so forth, and pointing things out.
You're looking at ceilings. They're looking at
right. I'm looking at ceilings and cracks and in the closets to see what's hidden in there.
Yeah, and then they're looking at kind of my sofa fit here.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Well, and I think that's what the expertise really comes in, is like you do need not only a second or third or fourth pair of eyes, even before the inspector, because you got a bunch of stuff before that.
Correct.
But you're really looking out for the client to make sure that they're not just buying a lemon.
I try my best.
For sure.
Yes, sir.
So quick takeaway before we have to take a break. So Debbie, walk us through being a new client with you. What should someone expect?
I'm going to introduce myself. I'm going to set the expectations down. I'm going to find out what your needs are.
Right.
We're going to write them down, and then that's how we're going to start. We're going to set up with an MLS strip from there. What you like, I'll take you out. We'll go see some homes.
Right.
And I'm not going to limit you to 3 homes a day. So whatever it takes, we're going to get it. And whatever obstacles are there, we'll overcome them. I'll find a way to overcome it.
Perfect. I love it. So this is Debbie Luna. Again, check her out. Our website is Debbie, DEBBIE, Luna.com, or call or text her at 210-823-2916. Again, that's 823-2916. We're going to take a quick break. Be right back with Brian and JJ Radio.